Hello guys, Robot1 here, and today I am going to be doing the top 10 best decks of 2016. So, yeah, basically I'm talking about what I think were the top 10 best decks of 2016 and my reasonings why they were the top 10 best decks of 2016. So without further ado, let's go straight into this. So at number 10 we have Blue Eyes. Now, why do we have Blue Eyes? Well, we have Blue Eyes as number 10 purely because this deck is a rank 8 deck that could spam the board like hell. It won worlds. It has Spirit Dragon, just being able to completely lock out the pendulum mechanic, stopping it from being able to summon multiples. It had very little weaknesses during the year, and now that, even though coming to the end of the year it's not the best deck because of ABC came in, it is still a very good deck and was still one of the best decks of the year nonetheless. So number 10 has to go to Blue Eyes because it had spam ability, it had alternative, it had all the combos necessary. It just had so much advantage, and it just really deserves to be at number 10. So now off to number 9. So at number 9 we have Magispectors. Now, why do we have Magispectors? Well, Magispectors are at number 9 because of the because of reasons like it's a pendulum deck, it was able to spam boards and stuff and all of that. But why is it the specific pendulum deck at number 9? Or the specific Magispector deck at number 9? Well, Magispectors are at number 9 because Tides of the Brethren was released this year, and along with that, the deck just was able to evolve beyond belief because of it. Just being able to gain multiple advantage from it, and just being able to do all sorts with it. Plus, it had the accessibility to stuff like Secret Village of the Spellcasters. It had stuff like Tempest, Tornado to be able to tribute to gain their effects. And even though they didn't really have a strong start at the beginning of the year, now where we are nearing the end of the year really does show how powerful they could be, just because of how good they played with Tides of the Brethren and things. So number 9 has to go to Magispectors in my opinion. So now on to number 8. So for number 8 we have PK, BA, or just BA in general. One of the two builds. They're both very good, and they're both, I'd say, on the same standings. But knowing what they're like is that they have been a deck that has been meta for 3 years now. And just knowing this really does show that they were one of the most powerful decks in 2016. They were just so powerful this year. They got the addition of Beatrice this year, making them oh so much more powerful. They got the PK engine boost. Obviously, I don't know if this was the beginning. That was the beginning of this year or not, but they did gain the PK boost this year. A little before that, but they did deserve it because of the PK boost. They just had so much advantage because of this, and because BA was just so powerful a deck, and just being able to have the resources, just being able to special summon, it's just too good. Plus they had the additions of a lore to add in, they had Terratop, they have all this different things, and they really do deserve the number 8 spot, no matter how much I hate the deck. It really does deserve to be at number 8 as the 8th best deck of the year. So on to number 7. So for number 7, I have ABC. Now, why do I think ABC is the 7th best deck of the year? Well, it's the 7th best deck of the year because it just is. Like, ABC is a very linear deck. It's a deck that just has a lot of advantage. It can create stupid boards. It can do whatever the hell it wants. It can run Strike. It can run Anti-Spell Fragrance. It can run all sorts. It runs Tsukuyomi. It can draw tons of cards. It makes ABC Dragon Buster Cannon that banishes cards. It gains a ton of advantage for no good reason. And knowing this fact really does make me think that it is the 7th best deck of the year, just because of the fact of the amount of advantage it gains, the amount of plus it can gain, and it's just got tons of different advantages in the game. Now, it may not be higher in this list, but even so, it is still the 8th best deck in retrospective. So, I mean, not 8th, 7th best deck in retrospective, but even so, even though it's weaker than the other decks on this list, I still see it being number 7 on this list purely because of what happened with it. So yeah, number 7 goes to ABC because of the lineage, the advantage it can gain, the amount of plays it has, and the amount of freaking trap cards it can run. But yeah, ABC at number 7. Let's move on to number 6. So at number 6, we have something, in my opinion, just because of I believe this is how I would see it, and that is Paleozoic frogs. Now, Paleozoic frogs are number 6 because they're number 6. Like, they're an amazing deck. Don't get me wrong, but I think the other decks on this list are just higher in comparison. Like, they can do stupid things. Like, they've got all the Paleozoic trap cards in the deck that just allow crazy boosting. They crazy plays during your opponent's turn. They have Treat Toad, which got released this year, which just enables amazing advantage, which just makes amazing negate ability. They also have the Frog Engine that just allows to make easy rank 2s, and it's just like, this deck would probably be higher on my list if there were just more better rank 2s like Treat Toad in the game. But as of now, I would think Paleozoic Frogs is the 6th best deck because it got 2nd at Bottom and YCS Bottom, and it's done other things in regionals, I believe. And just knowing this really just make me think it's the 6th best deck. So now that that's number 6, Paleozoic Frogs. Let's move on to the 5th deck. So at number 5, we have Water Heroes. Now, why do I think Water Heroes is above Paleozoic Frogs? Well, simply, it's Darklaw, right? Like, Darklaw is the whole reason why I can see this deck being the 5th best deck. Like, Water Heroes can do stupid things, like they can make Spider-Woven Shark to be able to do plays like that. They can make Bahamut Shark to make Treat Toad, and Treat Toad in any deck is an amazing thing. Like, putting this at number 6 is just like, okay, wow, great. Like, this is just what I think. Like, Water Heroes are above Paleozoic Frogs because of Darklaw, because of Treat Toad, like the same as Paleozoic Frogs. They can make other plays, such as Xyz plays, like rank 4 monsters, which there are a lot more better at rank 4. There's a bigger rank 4 toolbox than there is a rank 2 toolbox, so that's another reason, because there's more accessibility to things. We have Reflesia, we have Utopia Lightning, which is just a stupid card in general as well. It just makes a ton of sense for Water Heroes to be above Paleozoic Frogs, and even though Paleozoic Frogs may have made it further up Bottom, I still think that Water Heroes are better than Paleozoic Frogs. So, Water Heroes just number 5 because of it can make Darklaw really easy, giving easy banishing ability. Because it can make Treat Toad very easily. It has it's a big rank for a toolbox to work with as well. And something I didn't mention, it can run traps and spells and all sorts of cards just to be able to do big plays. And that's just another really big factor, being able to run some traps. Plus, you can mix Water Heroes with stuff like Frogs, with Paleozoics as well. Like, you can mix it with anything just to be able to extend your plays. So, Water Heroes in general are more versatile deck as well. So, now that I've said the Water Heroes, let's move on to number 4. So, number 4 is Draco Pals. Now, why is Draco Pals number 4? Well, this is essentially before they got the hit of Monkey Board off the list. Before they hit Monkey Board and stuff, so it's essentially after the E-ban list. And after the E-ban list, this deck did take a hit. Well, it kind of downgraded from the deck into the Draco Pal deck. But knowing that this deck still had such power, such availability, and just was so strong, was just really so strong, really makes me think it's number 4. It had the rank 4 toolbox as well. It had the Draco engine. It had the Performer Power engine, which were all broken. It had Monkey Board. It had Odd Eyes Unicorn. It had Odd Eyes Phoenix. It had a lot of availability, just being able to play the Odd Eyes engine, the Draco engine, the Performer Power engine, all in one deck, I might add. And you could even play a Magician engine in it as well, just making more advantage. It just really makes sense to me for this deck to be number 4 above the other decks. Like, it did so well out throughout the year for me. Like, this deck was probably one of the best decks I've played so far. Like, I topped my first nationals with this deck. I won an LLDS with this deck. I did so much with this deck, and even though it's not number 1, this deck is still the 4th best deck of ranking in my opinion. So, knowing this really does make me think that Draco Pals were the 4th best deck of the year, and even so, it's just such a good deck regardless. So, number 4 for me was Draco Pals. It just has so much power, has the pendulum mechanic, can run trap cards. Hell, you can even run Ariadne in it. It wasn't as good as the deck above it, but, like, it's just so good to have, and it's just such a good deck in general. So, number 4 is Draco Pals. Let's move on to number 3. So, number 3 is Metal Foes. Now, obviously, this was going to be on the list. Metal Foes are clearly one of the best decks of the year, no matter what you think, what you say. Metal Foes are an amazing deck and deserve to be on this list at number 3. Now, the decks above it sure are better than this deck because of reasons which I'll get into on their separate parts, but Metal Foes, just when they first came out, they were garbage. They weren't that great. They were something you would play as an engine, more as a deck, and they just weren't that good. But as soon as the Invasion of Vengeance came out, this deck easily showed its power. Like with Mithrilium, with Alkahest, with Bismagir, with the El Shaddai Fusion spell. Like, this deck easily just busted out of the woodwork and became its own deck. Like, the short time it's had so far, it's won regionals, it's won a YCS's, or a YCS with Billy Break, I believe, who won it. Billy Break? I think it was Billy Break. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but like, it just shows its powers just so easily. Like, it wiped ABC off the map. It takes its glory. Like Mithrilium, Alkahest, and it can run the Magispectre engine with Bombuku and Kirin. Like, and it runs Gofus. It can run a Cleafoy engine to make Infinity. Like, Metal Foes are clearly an amazing deck and really do deserve to be on this list at number 3, just because they can make Infinity. They can summon. They can use Kirin. They can use Gofu. They can use they Synchro. They Fusion. They Xyz. They have such a versatile toolbox, and like they just such a good deck. Like, they can use all sorts of things. They can do tons of things. They're a deck that can run Pot of Desires really easy. Like, this deck really does deserve to be at number 3 because of how good it is. So, Metal Foes at number 3, just because of how good the deck is. Now, the next 2 decks will be a step above, but Metal Foes is the 3rd best deck. So, moving on to number 2. So, for number 2, we have a deck that I still despise, still hate, still wish was destroyed off the planet, and that is Monarchs. So, why Monarchs? Well, it's pretty obvious. Like, no matter what variant of Monarchs you played before they got hit, Monarchs were a very powerful deck. They had they had Domain to lock out your opponent. They had Erebus to easily shuffle away anything you wanted. You had Ether to summon from the deck. You had Kurez to draw cards. You had Gofu to gain additional advantage very easily. You had you just had so much. Like, you had Pantheism, draw 2 for nothing. You had Prime, special summon from the graveyard. That deck had so much advantage, so much lockability, and it just proves how good it is. Hell, it could use the Brilliant Fusion engine in the extra deck build. Monarchs just deserve to be number 2 best deck because of all they could do. Like, they can shuffle your opponent's hand away turn 1. They can special summon from the deck with no problems. They can tribute summon on your turn. They can draw additional cards and still get a plus from that additional card. They can special summon from the graveyard. They can lock you out from the extra deck. They can special summon from deck with Yugioh. And Yugioh summon Erebus. No, Eidos. Eidos, I think it was named. And then tribute summon for another monster. They can, just like, they can use an extra deck. They can use the Brilliant Engine. They can use Gofu. They can do so much. Like, Monarchs are just, I'm stuttering, aren't I? Monarchs are just such a stupid deck. Like, this deck was just so stupid. It wasn't tier 0, but, well, there was a version of a tier 0. Monarch FDK, Magical Explosion, bullcrap. But yeah, this deck was like so dumb. Like, not even funny. Like, you can tell how irritated I am. And Erebus on the... I don't know the picture that will be there at this moment in time. It'll probably be Erebus or a picture of all the Monarchs. But all of your friends, like... the amount of salt that has just came out of my body. But, like... Monarchs are just such a stupid deck. They have so many reasons for being on this list, and they just deserve to be on this list. Like, Monarchs were clearly one of the best decks of the year, no matter what you look at it. They were just too good a deck to look up. But, yeah, that's just something I had to say. That's number 2. Let's move on to number 1. So, guys, number 1. Number 1 is a deck that clearly, we all know had to be hit, but some of us were really irritated by when it was hit, and that is Pepe. Pepe, I miss you so much. But, yeah, guys, Pepe is number 1 on this list for multiple reasons, the main one being it was a tier 0 deck. Now, as soon as Pepe came out, it became a tier 0 deck on the spot. It was better than Dragon Rulers, it was better than any other deck in the past. Like, this deck was clearly a broken deck. Like, this deck was probably the best deck it made in a very long time. Like, it was just... It was so combo-based, it was so crazy. It had the Pendulum mechanic, it had Xyz, it could make Infinity, it could make Ptolemaios to make Infinity, it could make Rafflesia, it had so much. Like, it used Ariadne to search trap cards. It's just, like... It's obviously the best deck of the format, like, best deck of 2016. Like, this deck was clearly an amazing deck, and just obviously was going to be the best deck. Like, there's no big reason to get behind it. It was tier 0. It had Plush Fire to summon Perform Mages from deck. We had Wavering Eyes back then. We had Wavering Wars. We had Plush Fire. We had Damage Juggler. We had Perform Mage. Trick Clown. We had the Sorcerer to search out Silver Claw, and we had Triple Joker. We had Triple Monkey Board. We had Triple Face Off. We had Triple Luster, we had Triple Ignista, it's so hard to not say that this deck was clearly the best deck. Like, this deck had so much advantage in it, had so much stupidity, with Wavering Eyes, with Plush Fire, with Ptolemaios to make Infinity, with the Sorcerer, with the Ariadnes, with the Trap cards, it just had so much advantage that this was clearly a tier 0 deck. And Konami even had to emergency ban list the deck, which shows how good the deck was. So, clearly, Pepe deserves the number 1 spot of best deck of the year. It only survived about 3 weeks, but nonetheless, it was the best deck of the year, and it really deserves the number 1 spot. It may have been bullcrap, but even so, it was still the best deck of the year. So, yeah, guys, those are the top 10 best decks of the year. Now, some decks didn't make it into this, obviously, like Cosmos, as you probably noticed. I didn't think Cosmos were one of the best decks compared to all these other decks, even with the Dark Destroyer. Pendulum Magicians, they only lasted a few weeks in the meta. Even after the emergency ban list, they still made it a few weeks, but they weren't the best deck of anywhere close to near these decks. Maybe in the end of 2015, but only the best only then. But like all Cosmo didn't make it, Pendulum Magicians didn't make it, Dark Lords didn't make it. Now, I didn't put Dark Lords in this video purely because they brick too much. They haven't done enough for me to consider them to be the best deck. Now, they have a lot of draw power, but that's about it in my opinion. But they just don't have the power to make it in. Now, Cyber Angel Herald didn't make this in. Like, these are all honorable mentions, obviously, because they were great decks of the year, but they just didn't make it into the list. But yeah, honorable mentions will be going to Cosmo, Pendulum Magicians, Cyber Angels, something else that I just forgot. Whatever it was, like all these decks, they didn't make it in. Oh, Dark Lords, they're honorable mentions, but they just didn't make it into this list. But guys, tell me if you think this list is correct. Tell me if you think these were the top 10 best decks of the year. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. And just give me your main opinion on my list and what your top 10 decks of the year were. But as always, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Press the bell button because of YouTube's crappy algorithm to double subscribe. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Press the bell button, as I said. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later.